connections, insight, credibility, leadership. At the American Astronautical Society, we don't just talk about the future of space. We advance it.
Is Earth alone in the universe?
AAS brings together leading minds in aerospace, engineers, scientists, students, policymakers, and visionaries, united by one goal: advancing space for all. From high-impact conferences and student competitions to leadership and industry collaboration, we create opportunities for innovation, education, and connection. Space is not just a destination. It's a mission that shapes our world. And advancing space means advancing science, technology, communication, and global progress. Whether you're engineering missions or imagining what's next, there's a place for you at AAS. Together, we advance space.
Welcome to day 3 of Igniting Innovation, the 2025 Von Braun Space Exploration Symposium. Thank you all very, very much for being here. We're going to kick off today with a really special presentation about an activity that AAS does each year. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome up the University of Alabama in Huntsville's Student CanSat team from their Space Hardware Club. Come on up, guys.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I am Alex Burak. I am an sophomore aerospace engineering student here. I competed in CanSat this past year on Team Rotorstorm.
Hello, everyone. My name is Benjamin Griffin. I am a sophomore aerospace engineer. I competed this past year in CanSat on Team Blue Streak.
And then my name is Madeline Tier. I am a junior computer engineering and mathematics major, and I competed 2 years ago and won second place on Team Shockwave.
Alrighty, so many of you are probably looking at this and was like, what is CanSat? Like, you've probably never heard of it. Well, what CanSat is a international competition where you create a aerospace payload. As we'll see in a few minutes here, that payload changes each year. The whole goal of this competition is to bring the students through an entire industry competition, basically. So you go through PDR, CDR, FRR, post-flight review, and it's supposed to simulate that in 8 months. So what is this year's challenge? There it goes. There we go. The 2025 mission, this past year's challenge, was an autogyro-based system. Like I said before, it changes each year. So we'll see a little bit from now. This year's competition is very different. But this past year, it had to act as the nose cone of a rocket, as you see over there, in a container, and then deploy at its maximum apogee, and then release a parachute while in the container, and then deploy from the container and descend using a passive autogyro system. The whole time, it has to transmit data to the ground station, and we receive telemetry. This is, as you can see, it's a very busy schedule. The entire 8 months, constant stuff going on. In red, you could see the competition deliverables, and in blue is our internal deliverables. Some stuff that we do personally, and we're going to talk about, is testing. So unlike many of the teams that compete, we spend a lot of time doing tests like launching them in rockets or throwing them off bridges, and it gives us an edge over the competition. Other than that, as you can see, we work on an internal mission ready concept review, and then the preliminary design review, critical design review, and all of the other things. So historically, CanSat has been at UAH for a very, very long time. We've competed in the competition since 2008, and this year will be the 21st birthday of CanSat. So we've been here for a very, very long time. It has helped shape our club, and we have brought through many, many excellent engineers through CanSat. We have historically placed top 3 nationally and top 5 internationally almost every single year. I think in the 17 years we've competed, we have placed top 5, I think it was 9, 10 times. So we are constantly taking in new knowledge on the competition and then passing that down to the next generation.
So what is Space Hardware Club? Space Hardware Club provides easy access and hands-on hardware and software engineering experience for any students enrolled at UAH. It is currently the largest RSO and has been the largest RSO for the past 8 years. We have over 300 students participating in over 13 projects under 5 programs, ranging from science research on high-altitude ballooning payloads all the way to sounding rockets. So we have 4 programs under AutoSat, is where CanSat lives, and that is our competition team-based program. Then we have BalloonSat, which does high-altitude ballooning. We have Rocketry, which does high-powered rocketry and is competing in IREC this year. And then Spaceflight, which does CubeSats and then our sounding rocket payloads. And then our coolest program, and what we love to highlight to everyone, is 2-month. 2-month is our training program. So at the beginning of the year, August through October, we bring on new students, so freshmen and transfer students who want to come into the club but don't have a lot of experience and want to learn how to build payloads. We have 5 challenges in 2-month where we teach them in 2 months. The first month we teach them classes, how to do PCB design, how to code, how to do composite manufacturing, how to CAD. And then in the next month, what they'll do is they'll build their payloads. And we actually flew this last Saturday for our high altitude ballooning payloads, our planes, as well as our CanSats and rocketry flies this weekend. So we teach freshmen coming in. And what's really important is that we teach them how to build CanSats. So we do a mock smaller CanSat of the previous year's challenge. They will build it in 2 months. They will fly it on a high altitude ballooning payload. They will learn how CanSats work, how to build, how to composite, how to design engineering, how to give presentations so that they are moving forward and moving strong when they go into CanSat. So CanSat 2-month, I'll pass off to Benjamin.
All right, so as Maddie said, the CanSat 2-month project mirrors the actual competition. This year we had 1 of 4 mechanical challenges they could have picked to do their CanSat off of. We had autogyro, which is based on the past year's competition. We had glider, which was new for this year. We had parachute and nose cone, and then air brake and parachute. Participants in CanSat 2-month get hands-on experience in fields that are very important to CanSat, like PCB design. Composite manufacturing. We do a lot of composite manufacturing. Most CanSat structural plates are made out of wood, fiberglass composite. It's something we teach them how to do. Another big thing is sub-team integration. One of the most important things I learned through CanSat 2-month was the importance of integrating mechanical and electrical systems. Another important thing about CanSat 2-month is that it serves as an audition for the international CanSat teams. 24 of the new CanSat team members this year participated in CanSat 2-month. So here are some statistics from the 2025 teams. As you can see, most of us were aerospace engineers, and then 93% of us were freshmen. Of the 30 people who competed, we were all freshmen and sophomores. So here was one of our teams from this past year, Team Blue Streak. This was my team. Another one of our teams was Team Cosmos. And then finally, we had Team Rotorstorm, who Alex competed on. So just to look, an overview of some of the design changes we've had over the competition cycle. This is my design. As you can see, we changed a lot from PDR to CDR to flight, and this is actually my hardware right here. One of the important changes I want to call out that we made was we decided to change our airfoil autogyro blades to flat plates. This is because of research. We decided that flat plates are more effective due to small airfoil theory. Another very important thing we did during competition was prototyping our nose cone. As you can see, our first nose cone mold was undeveloped, and through prototyping, we were able to come to a final nose cone mold, which created a higher quality product. This is Team Cosmos's design process. One of the important things they decided after PDR was that their stabilization fins was unnecessary. due to it kind of going against the auto gyro. Another very cool thing Team Cosmos did was their PCV was completely SMD'd, and it worked very, very well. Team Cosmos also did a lot of prototyping with their auto gyro blades. As you can see right here, and in the pictures, they made a lot of changes to them.
As we've talked about the other teams, RotorStorm had also gone through a lot of iterations. So if you look at our PDR versus our CDR versus our flight, it is completely different. From our experience, we fell a little bit behind, like around PDR time, and so our, design was kind of quick. And then after doing some quick testing, I think like 2 or 3 iterations, by the time we got to CDR, our payload looked completely different. We had changed our stabilized camera, we changed our blades, and then by flight, we had changed it drastically. We had done way more tests, and we had found a lot of flaws. A big one during the competition is mass, staying within the mass limit and the constraint. And then also just, again, integrating with electrical is extremely important. If I can go back in this competition, I don't have the payload with me, but the wire management was not the best. So that is something that you should definitely work on when you're doing that. And the big thing this year, one of the big things was the container. So the container was going to be standardized this year because every year it was kind of different. It was hard to integrate them into the rockets. And so as you can see here, we went through a bunch of different iterations, trying different materials. The CanSatters got to meet with some older members and kind of discuss different compositing methods and how to work on the mandrel. And so the big thing that we do each year is we try to pass down as much information as possible. So we have a lot of people that have specialized in composites in the club before, and it's important for them to reach out and talk about that as well.
So this is something Alex kind of hit on earlier about how we test early and we test often. One of the super big things we do at UAH for CanSat is that we do test launches. We do 2 of them, and one of them is before CDR, which as far as we're aware, we are one of the only schools that do that. So our test launch is super, super, super important for us to find potential issues with our design, and we use what we've learned from test launches to change stuff. As you can see in the pictures, our first test launch completely destroyed most of our hardware. We were able to take what we learned from this and make a lot of changes to our design. I know we all did that. Aside from test launches, UAH teams also do a lot of outside testing. This year we had teams use elevated structures like bridges, towers, and other campus buildings to do drop tests. This year for the 2025 to 2026 cycle, I plan on encouraging teams to use more diverse testing methods. So here's an overview of the CanSat launch week timeline. As you can see, there is a lot that goes on in the few days you're at competition. When we get to competition, we have a pre-competition brief. It kind of introduces all the teams, and we get to meet all the international teams. It was super interesting this year, seeing all the different designs teams had. And then after that, we have flight readiness review. This is where competition the judges determine if you're fit to fly. Then when we get to launch day, you have a few hours to prepare your CanSat, and then you turn it in and weigh it. At launch, there is a ground station check, and then you actually launch. Then after that, you have post-flight review, which is where you go through what worked, what didn't work, and what you could have improved on. And then after that, you have the award ceremony, which is where you figure out what you placed. Just kind of the same thing. Yeah, the launch week has pre-flight, FRR, flight day, PFR, and award ceremony. So this is this year's results. My team, Blue Streak, we placed 6th internationally and 1st nationally. Team Cosmos placed 8th place internationally and 2nd place nationally. And Team RotorStorm placed 14th place internationally and 6th place nationally. Looking forward, there's a lot that's going to happen with CanSat this year. This year's challenge is paraglider instrument delivery. This year's challenge is also very software heavy because it requires an autonomously guided payload. And there's also the ground station bonus challenge, which we're looking forward to seeing what our teams do. Last night was our CanSat team formation. We have 30 new incoming students, most of which are freshmen, and we're very excited for that. A large majority of these students came out of 2 months. We're also going to be conducting multiple test launches this year. We're going to be encouraging them to do PCB design and fiberglass manufacturing, which is what we taught during 2-month. And up here we have some examples of 2-month hardware they worked on this year.
And then the impact of CanSat. Majority of our CanSatters come out with internships going out of their freshman or sophomore year, which is exceptionally insane and very rare seen across the United States. Approximately 75% of the students last year had internships coming out of CanSat. And that is huge because normally only about 40 to 60% of our student body, so out of 250 members, about 40% of them get internships, and 75% of those internships come from CanSatters. So it's really important. We love what our CanSatters are doing, and then all of what they are doing in CanSat is applicable and helping them go into industry early on and get a head start in their careers. And then another thing, none of this could happen without the Alabama Space Grant Consortium and all of our sponsors. They help us so much, and they help support us being able to go to competition, afford the payloads, and be able to just iterate as much as possible. Thank you.
All right. Needless to say, very impressive stuff. You know, the UAH team is kind of a model for this competition that, you know, all the other teams can kind of look at and emulate. And yes, UAH does really well all the time. We want to make sure they have some competition, though. You know, we encourage you all to learn more about the competition. We have some information available at the registration desk, but to go back to your, you know, if you're affiliated with the school now, go back to your school, talk about it, see if they want to do a team or alumni, or if you are talking to a dean of engineering or something like that, please encourage them. You know, we want a lot more U.S. teams in the competition, and you can see, you know, what it does for the future workforce. And also, we would love for companies to get involved and help support the competition. And we can only do that with your help. And so, once again, congratulations to the UAH CanSat team. Great job, and really encourage anyone else interested to learn more about it. And I do want to say, the main man behind the competition is here, Ivan Galish. Ivan, are you in the room? He's back over there. He's been running it for the whole time, you know, since its inception, and you know, we just help him make it all happen. So thank you very much to Ivan.